Good evening, everyone. So, our today's session related to Java code debugging. So, this session is very important to work with Java. So, writing the program, everybody can do that, but understanding how that program is executing and what are the problems that we are getting in the program, how to fix those problems, that is the most important thing for the developer. So as of now, we are writing our Java programs in the notepad or in the Eclipse. We are right clicking on that program and we are just running that program. So for example, if we take IDE, so here I'm writing one Java program. Integer I is equal to 10 and integer j is equal to 20. And we are writing system.out.println I plus j. So this is very simple program to understand. There are two variables available and we are performing some of those two variables and we are printing on the console. But when we go for real time, our programs will look like this. Are we going to develop same program in the real time? No. In the real time project, several classes will be available. Every class may have 1000 to 2000 lines of code. So lot of methods will be available and lot of lines of code will be available. So sometimes you need to write the code from the very basic level, that is scratch level. But sometimes you need to work on the project which is already developed. Some code is already will be available in the project. You need to make some changes to the existing code. That is called enhancement that we need to do in the project. So when the code is already available, can we go and make the changes directly on that code? No. Why? Why we don't make the changes directly on that existing project? We don't know the functionality. We don't know how that code is going to execute. If you make some change in the code, where it is going to affect, that we don't know, right? So before making any change to the code, first we need to understand how that code is working. What is the execution flow of that code? Which line will execute first? Which line will execute next? In which line we are getting the problem? We need to find out that problem. Okay, we need to act like a detective now. We need to act like a detective. So what detectives will do? So if any crime happened, then detectives are going to analyze that scenario 360 degrees and they will identify who has done that activity. So similarly, now we need to act like a detective to identify what is the mistake in our program, where our program is failing, right? Suppose for example, if you see in the real time, we are going to write the classes like this. One class will have so many lines of code. And here so many methods are available. First, when user click on login button, which method will execute first? After that, which method is going to execute? How that code will execute line by line? Where is the problem in the code? How to understand that problem? How to fix that problem? That we are going to learn as part of today's session. So what is the today's topic? Debugging. What is the meaning of debugging? The process of executing the code. The process of executing the code line by line is called as a debugging. So as of now, we are writing a program. We are right clicking on the program. We are just running that program. If I run this program, can you understand where is the problem? So why we can't understand where is the problem? Do we have only 2 to 3 lines of code? Hundreds of lines of code is available. And there are so many methods will be available in the class. Which method is executing first? That method is calling some other method. That method is calling some other method. That method is calling some other method. What is the control flow? From where to where the control is going in our program? The program is not going to execute sequentially. So do you think that program will start from first line, will execute line by line like this? Never. Always our program will execute based on some conditions. So we need to understand execution flow of the program. To understand the execution flow of the program, we are going to use a technique called debugging. So what is a debugging? The process of executing the code line by line is called as debugging. What are the advantages with the debugging? We can understand execution flow. We can understand program execution flow. What is the meaning of execution flow? From which method to which method the control is going, which line is executing first, after that which line is executing, which condition is getting satisfied, which condition is not getting satisfied, that we can understand by using debugging. What is the first advantage? We can understand program execution flow. What is the second advantage? We can find bugs in the code. What is the meaning of bug in the code? When the program is executing, I'm not getting the output as expected. Program is working as a program is executing successfully, but the results are not coming as expected. Somewhere it is going wrong. Where is that mistake in that code? That mistake we can identify when we execute the program line by line. The process of executing the code line by line is called as debugging. So the main advantage of going for debugging, we can understand program execution flow. We can find bugs in the code. And next one is we can test behavior of our code. Behavior of our code. What is the meaning of behavior of our code? What is the meaning of behavior of our code? How that code is behaving when we run that program. I have written 10 lines of code. How those 10 lines of code is behaving in the runtime. Okay, we are writing a Java program. We are compiling that Java program. Dot class file is generated. Then we are running that dot class file. When you run the dot class file, we don't know what is happening internally. JVM will execute that program, will give the output directly. But I am not getting the output as expected. So then what should I do? Can I ask JVM why it is not giving correct output? No, we need to identify what mistake we have done in the code. So we are first doing the mistake. We need to act like a detective to find our mistake only. So to find our mistakes in the code, we are going to use a technique called debugging. So can you tell me what is the debugging? The process of executing the code line by line is called as debugging. As of now, whatever the programs we have developed, are we executing the code line by line, or we are not able to execute the code line by line? No, I'm just right clicking run as Java application. When I execute this run as Java application, we don't know from where it is starting, where it is ending. Directly I'm getting the output. So this line is executed. This line is executed. This line is also executed. So JVM executing all the lines, giving the output, but I am not interested in that. This is my program. I want to execute my program line by line to understand where is the problem. So to understand the problems in the code, every developer will use a concept called debugging. Without knowing debugging technique, no developer can develop a project in the company. So every day when you see developers in the company, they will be pressing F5, F6, F7, F8. So if you want to identify that person is real developer or not, if you see his keyboard, you can find that. In his keyboard, keywords F5, F6, F7, F8. As a developer, every day more than 1,000 times we are going to use those 4 keywords. F5, F6, F7, F8. Those keywords are shortcuts to debug our program in the Eclipse. It can be Eclipse or it can be Spring Tool Suite, whatever it is. So wherever the program is available, we can debug that program by using Eclipse. And remember, you cannot debug your code if you are using Notepad. If you write your program using Notepad, debugging is not possible. Debugging we can do only by using IDE. We can do only by using IDEs. Now, let's take one example here. Now, I'm going to write one method, right? Let's assume that public integer sum, I'm taking int a comma into b. Now here I'm taking integer sum is equal to a plus b, and I'm doing return sum. So this is my instance method. I'm going to call this instance method from the class. So this class name is bookstore. B is equal to new bookstore. Now b dot sum, I'm passing some numbers 10 comma 20. Okay, it is giving me some result. I'm storing that into a variable. Now I'm printing that variable system.out.println of sum. If I run this program, what it will do? Directly it is giving me output Am I able to control the program execution? No, we are not able to control. We are just running the program from now onwards. And when you are developing a program, when you are in the development phase of the project, that means you are writing the code. When you are writing the code, always you need to run your program in the debug mode. So now, sir, how to run the program in the debug mode? So here in the Eclipse, we have two options. If you go to our program, our class. So here, when you right click on the class, you are getting one option, run as Java application. And similarly, below the run as option, we have another option called debug as. Run as and debug as. When we are clicking on run as a Java application, execution completed within fraction of milliseconds. Program is executed within fraction of milliseconds. Is that important for us? No. I want to understand how that program is working internally. I want to execute the program line by line. For that, we are going to use a concept called debugging. So in the real time, our project code looks like this. Multiple methods will be available. One method will be calling another method. One method will be calling another method. We need to understand how it is working. Now, to debug a program, we need to follow some rules, guys. In order to debug our code, we need to follow some rules. The first rule is choose breakpoints. What is the first rule? Choose breakpoints. So what is this breakpoint? Breakpoint represents from where you need to debug your program. There are 100 lines available in my program. From which line you want to start the debugging? From which line you want to start the debugging? So in our Java program, what is the entry point, guys? Main method is the entry point. My program execution will begin from main method. Inside the main method, there is an empty line. We cannot debug that empty line. Remove that. So the first line in the main method is line number 7. I want to start my program debugging from line number 7. So the first thing that you need to do, the first thing we need to do is choose the breakpoint. That means from where our program execution is going to start. My program execution is starting from main method. Inside the main method, this is the first line. I'm creating an object. So let's keep your breakpoint here. Sir, how to keep a breakpoint? Just double click before the line number. So line number 7 is available, right? So when I do double click with my mouse, you can see a small dot there. Can you see a small dot? Is it visible? Last row. So that small dot is called as a breakpoint. What is that small dot? Breakpoint. How to keep a breakpoint? Double click before the line number. If you double click on that line number, just line number 7 is available. If you double click in the code, nothing will happen. You need to double click on the line number. So when I double click on the line number, a small dot is coming. That small dot is called breakpoint. So that means from that line, I can debug my program. So after keeping the breakpoint, now you need to run your program as a debug option. So if you go for run as a Java application, no use of breakpoint. So even though there is a breakpoint, my program execution completed, I got the output directly. Whenever you keep a breakpoint, right click on your program, debug as Java application. I'm going to use one option called debug option. When I click on debug as a Java application, it is asking me to change the window. You can click switch or no, anything is fine. If you click switch, the window will be adjusted for the debugging. So I'm clicking no problem. So when I choose that option now, if you see, my program is executing or it is waiting at the breakpoint. My program is waiting at the breakpoint. Why it is waiting now? I need to control. I want to execute that program line by line. Till today, in our core Java and advanced Java classes, we just selected run as Java program. All the lines executed, we got the output. But from today, we are going to debug the program. We will understand each and every line of code, right? So now, so in the 7th line, there is a breakpoint. That's why my program is waiting here. My thread is waiting there to move forward. Now here, I need to control the program execution by using debugging shortcuts. Okay, the first option, what we need to do, choose breakpoints in the program. Choose breakpoints in the program. Just if you double click on the line number, breakpoint will be available. Next one, run the program in the debug mode. Run the program in debug mode. If you run in the run mode, no use. I need to run the program in the debug mode. When I run my program in the debug mode, my program will wait at the breakpoint. It will never continue. I need to tell that go forward one line. Right. So now run the program in the debug mode. Use the debugging shortcuts. Use debugging shortcuts to run to execute the program. To execute the program. Now, sir, what are the shortcuts available to run that program? Now, the first shortcut is F5. So in the keyboard, F5 is available. In some laptops, F5 will not work directly. You need to press function. Function F5 we need to write. F5. That F5 is used to go inside the method. Go inside the method. Go inside the method. Now I will give the notes, sir. Wait, I will give the notes. Right. So what is F5? So here this is one line. Is there anything that I need to understand in this line? No. What is this line is doing? Just creating the object. So I don't need to do anything for that line. I will just go for next line. If I want to go for next line, the keyword is F6. What is the keyword? F6. Go next line. Now here currently I am at the line number 7. I want to go for next line. What key I need to press? F6. Function F6. Now I came to the next line. Okay. So now here in the line number 8, what we are doing? In the line number 8, what we are doing? We are calling one method. That method can be available in the same class, or that method can be available in the different class also. Now I want to do postmortem for that method. I want to understand what the code is available inside that method. I want to debug that method also. Here there is a technique. If you use F6, method execution will complete. You will go to the next line directly. Are you guys clear? So here F6 keyword is used to go for next line. My breakpoint is available at the line number 7. From line number 7, I came to next line by using F6 keyword. Again, if I press F6, what will happen? Again, if I press F6, what will happen? So again, we will go to the next line. Can we understand how the method is executed? No. So to understand that method, I need to go inside that method. To understand that method, I need to go inside that method. To go inside that method, what is the keyword? F5. F5 keyword is used to go inside that method. Now function F5. Now where is the control? Control came to my sum method. Now in the sum method, you can see A. What is the value we pass it to A? 10. I can inspect the values of the variables also. What value we pass it to this sum method? A variable holding value 10, B variable holding value 20. Now here, currently I'm at the line number 15. I want to go for next line. How to go for next line? Function F6. Now I want to see what is the sum of these two numbers. Do I need to wait till my program execution completed? No. Just if you keep your mouse cursor on the variable, it will display the result of that value. So when you perform sum of those two variables, what is the output we are getting? That output already it is stored into some variable. So what the value available in the sum? 30. Now I am at the line number 17. I want to go for next line. Do we have any next line here? When there is no next line, who called this method? Main method. So here it will go back to that main method. Function F6. We came back to that method. So are you able to understand execution flow now? Right. So I am inside this sum method. I want to go for next line. How to go for next line? F6. I want to go for next line F6. Is there anything to debug this line? No. What is the purpose of that line? System.out.println. That is a predefined method to print output on the console. Now F6. I came to last line of the main method. Then F6. Do we have anything? No. Program execution completed. Result printed as 30. So now can you tell me how to debug a program now? Yeah, how to debug a program now? The first thing is we need to choose breakpoints in the program. Can we keep multiple breakpoints also? Yes, you can keep any number of breakpoints. There is no limit on that. Breakpoint will represent from where you want to start your program and where you want to stop your program, right? So now how to keep a breakpoint, guys? How to keep a breakpoint? Double click. I want to keep the breakpoint at the line number 7. Just to double click on the line number 7. If you double click first time, breakpoint is added there. Suppose if I double click once again, breakpoint is removed from there. You can see here, this side people. Is it visible? 1 minute. Yeah, line number 7. Is there any dot before line number 7? No. Now I am going to double click on the 7. Can you see a small dot here? Yes, that is called breakpoint. If I double click once again, what happened? Breakpoint is removed. So if you want to add the breakpoint or if you want to remove the breakpoint, you just need to use this double click option now. So I kept my breakpoint. Can you tell me how to execute it now? Can you tell me how to execute it now? Run as or debug as? Debug as. Right click, debug as Java application. So when I debug as, it is asking to switch. Earlier I clicked no. Now I am clicking switch. When I click switch, that window is adjusted. That window got adjusted. Okay, if you want, you can switch or you can click on no problem. So now it is waiting at the line number 7. Why it is waiting at the line number 7? Because there is a breakpoint. Now I want to go for next line. How to go for next line? Yes, to go for next line, I'm going for F6. So in the line, we came to line number 8. In the line number 8, I'm calling a method. I want to go inside the method. Come on, F5. I want to go inside the method F5. Yes, I came inside that method. So that method can be, whatever the method we are executing, that method can be available in any class. No problem. No need to be in the same class. Okay. Next, I came to this method. Line number 13 is available. From line number 13, I want to go back to next line. I want to move next line. What is the keyword? F6 is the keyword to go for next line. Fine. Again, next line. F6. I came back to caller method. Who called this a sum method? That method called by main method. I came back to main method. I want to go for next line. Come on, F6. I came to line number 9. So my program is executing 7, 8, 9 lines in the sequence. No, first line number 7 is executing. After that, line number 8. After the line number 8, line number 12 is executing. So that means from here, the program is going for this method. So that means Java program will never execute sequentially in the real time. Always our programs will execute based on some conditions. Okay. So I want to go for next line. F6. Then next line. F6. Completed. Program got terminated. You can see my program is terminated. I got the result as 30. Okay. So with this we understood what is a breakpoint, how to run the program in the debug mode, how to use the debugging shortcuts to execute the program. F5, F6. Similarly, we have F7. F7 to come back to caller method. To come back to caller method. Then we have F8 keyword. F8, go to next breakpoint directly. Go to next breakpoint. Now I have a breakpoint at the line number 7. Now after executing the line number 7, I want to go for line number 9. I don't want to execute this line by line. So after executing line number 7, I understood the code. I want to go to next breakpoint directly. If you want to go for next breakpoint directly, then you will use F8 keyword. You are going to use F8 keyword. Able to follow this? Yes. So now what is the debugging, guys? The process of executing the code line by line is called as debugging. So what are the advantages of going for debugging? We can understand program execution flow. We can find bugs in the code. We can test behavior of the code. We can provide bug-free code. We can provide bug-free code. That means once you debug, you will understand all the problems of your code. You can fix that problem. You can test your code is working as expected or not. You can understand runtime behavior of your code. So whatever the code we write, that code may work, may not work. So if you test it, you can understand that the code is working as expected or not. If that code is working as expected or not, we can test it by using debugging. If it is not working, we will fix it. In order to debug, we need to keep the breakpoint. Then we need to run the program in debug mode. Use the debugging shortcuts to execute the program. Go inside the method. F5. What is the purpose of F5? F5 is used to go inside the method. F6 to go for next line. F7 come back to caller method. F8 to go to next breakpoint. So let's understand what is this F7 and F8. Guys, see here, I'm going to create one more class and I will call this method from another class. Assume that I have one class with a name called calculator. Calculator class. Now I'm writing some method public integer multiply. Okay, integer a comma into b system dot out dot println method started. Okay, now integer result is equal to a multiplied by b. A multiplied by b system dot out dot println method completed. Method started, method ended. Finally, I am going to return result. Okay, this is one method I'm writing inside the calculator class. Now let's go to bookstore. Sum method is available here. It is printing the sum. Now I am going to create the object for calculator C is equal to new calculator. One class object I am creating in the another class. C dot multiply, C dot multiple. I'm passing 2 comma 2 some value. Okay, it is giving me some result. System dot out dot println of result. Now can we debug this program? Yes, already breakpoint is available at the line number 7 and line number 13. Can I keep multiple breakpoints also? Yes, I kept one breakpoint at the line number 7, another breakpoint available at the line number 13. Yes, tell me how to run the program. Run as or debug as? Debug as. So debug as Java application. Okay, so the breakpoint is at the line number 7. Go for next line. F6. I want to go inside that sum method. F5. Okay, yes, go for next line. F6. Next line. F6. I came back to sum method. Now here sum is printed. Line number 30. I mean the system of the println and sum of 30 is printed. Now I don't want to debug these lines, guys. Let them execute directly. I want to go for next breakpoint directly. I want to go for next breakpoint directly. How can I go for next breakpoint directly? By using a keyword called F8. Now currently my program is available at the line number 11. So where is the next breakpoint? 13. Observe carefully. I am using F8. When I use F8, what happened? So this method started, method ended, that multiple method got executed and I got the result also. What is the result? 4. That method has returned the result as 4. So now from line number 9, directly I came to line number 13. How I came from line number 9 to line number 13? F8. Because in the line number 13, we have a breakpoint. If you want to jump to the direct, if you want to direct jump to the next breakpoint, then you can use a shortcut called F8. Good. What is the difference between F6 and F8? F6 is used to move only one line. F8 directly jump to next breakpoint. Now, fine. So completed. Again, let me debug it. Debug as Java application. So when I start in the debug mode, first line number 7, bookstore. Okay. F6, sum method. I don't want to go inside that direct. I already debugged that method for 2 times. I understood how that method is working. Okay. Now I want to direct go for next line. F6. So sum method will execute or will not execute? Will execute or will not execute? Come on, guys. Will execute. Yes. F6. Sum method is executed. I got the result as 30. So if you keep your cursor, it will show what is the value of the variable. which value stored in that variable we can see before our program termination, right? I got that some value system.out.println, line number 9, okay, F6, calculator class. I'm creating a object. Now go to next line. Here I'm calling another class method. Can I go inside that method also? Can I go inside that method? It is not available. That method not available in our class. Still, can I go for that? How can I go inside that method? By using F5. Yes. Did I came to this multiply method available in the calculator? Yes. Now, if you want to execute this code line by line, what is the keyword? F6. Okay. Now, this method, I understood that there is no problem in this method. I don't want to debug line by line. Directly, I want to come back to the caller. I started at the main method. From the main method, I came to the calculator method. Inside the calculator method, this code is very simple. Okay, I can understand. There is no problem. So don't want to waste my time to debug that line by line. I want to come back to the caller. Who called this method? Who called this method? Main method. How to go back to that caller method? Function F7. Directly, am I able to come back to the caller method? Yes, that means now F6. So result. Did I get the result as 4? 2 multiplied by 2. I got the result as 4. Now F6. That result is printed. Then F6. Execution completed. So are you able to understand these 5 shortcuts? So what are these? Go inside the method. Go next line. To come back to caller method, go to next breakpoint. Okay. First we need to keep the breakpoint. Then we need to run our program in the debug mode. Whether it is a standalone application or whether it is a web application, you can run that in the debug mode and you can debug the program line by line. So now, do you feel any advantage with this approach? What is the advantage? What is the advantage, guys? We can understand execution flow of the program. So many people will tell that, sir, I'm not able to understand this code. I'm not able to understand this code. You are writing 10 lines of code. I'm not able to remember. I'm not able to understand. So do you need to butify that? Can we butify the code? See here in my program, in my project, I have developed this program. Okay. There are 60 lines available. Can I butify? But when I look at that code, can I understand how it will execute? I don't know. At that moment, we have written that. We have debugged that code. It was working as expected. Today, if you ask me, so there are 7-8 methods available. Sir, which method will execute first? I also don't know. I also don't know. So we need to debug that program. We need to understand how those methods are executing, in which order those methods are getting executed. Able to follow this? Right. Now, let me see. Let me show you one web application. 1 minute. Let me go for one web application. I will debug the web application and I will show you how that code is. Same process is same. Whether it is a standalone application or whether it is a web application, the process is same. You need to choose the breakpoint. You need to run in the debug mode. You need to use F5, F6, F7, F8. So what is the breakpoint? What is a breakpoint? It is the entry point to start the debugging of our program. So how to control the program in the debug mode? F5, F6, F7, F8. What is the purpose of F5? Go inside the method. One method is calling another method. I want to go inside that method. Then we will use a keyword called F5. In your laptop, if F5 is not working, press function key, then F5. Then you can go inside that method. F6. What is the purpose of F6? F6 is used to go for next line. What is F7? M1 method calling M2 method. From M1, I entered into M2. In the M2, 100 lines of code is available. Okay, I don't want to understand now. Okay, I got it what that method is going to do. I want to come back to M1. So if you want to come back to the caller method, then you will use F7. So what is the purpose of F8? If you want to go for next breakpoint, jump from current line to next breakpoint, For that, you will use F8 keyword. Yes, perfect. Now, guys, see here, there are so many lines of code is available. There are so many lines of code is available. So tomorrow, when your manager asks you to modify this program, can you go and modify this program directly? Why? We don't know what that program is going to do. We don't know what that program is going to do. If you want to modify somebody code, first you need to understand that code. So if you look at that, can you understand what this method is going to do? May not. So you need to execute that line by line, and you need to see how that is going to execute. Okay. So now, can we debug this method? Okay. Let me take this method. Let me take this method. Yeah. So this method is used to generate some random password. For that, I need to create a random class. Random is a class in the util package. Random is equal to new random. Perfect. I created one random class object. So this is going to return that random system.out.println sb.toString. Okay, it is going to generate random text. In the interview, they may ask you a question. Can you write a Java program to generate a OTP, random number? Can you write a Java program to generate alphanumeric text? Okay, this program is going to generate alphanumeric text. Okay, can we debug this code now? Yes. So this method is a static method or instance method. This method is a static method or instance method. This method is a instance method. I want to call this method. How to call the instance method? By using object. Okay, if I make it as a static, private, static, string, generate random password. How to call that static method? Come on. By using class name bookstore.generate random password. That's it. Now, so total I am calling three methods. One is a sum method, another one is multiple method, another one is generate random password. Yeah, I want to debug now. Tell me. Already there is a breakpoint. Yes, next. Debug as Java application. Perfect. Yes, started. You need to tell me the keywords. Yeah. What is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of that? Next line. F6. Next. I'm calling a method. Do you want to see how the method is executing? If you want to see, F5. If you don't want to see, F6. I want to see. F5. Perfect. Yeah. Next. F6. What is the purpose of F6? Next line. Again. F6. Next. F6. Next. F6. Next. I'm calling another class method. Can I see that method how it is executing? Yes. What is the shortcut? F5. I want to go for next line. Next line. Next line. Next line. I came back to color method. I want to go for next line. Again, next line. I want to see how that method is executing. So how can I go inside that method? I can go inside that method by using F5. First, what I am doing in the line number 23, I'm creating a object for random class. Random is a predefined class in the java.util package. We have scanner class, right? So similarly, random is also one of the predefined class available in java.util. If you want to generate some random value, then you can use that random class. You will get a OTP to your mobile, right? That is a random number. 4-digit OTP or 6-digit OTP we can generate. This program will generate a OTP, random OTP. Now see, I created a random object. Now, what characters you want to keep in the OTP? I want to keep A to Z any character and 120 any number. A to Z any character, 120 any number can available in that OTP. Okay, fine. I want to go for next line. F6. Now, the text I'm storing, my OTP text I'm storing in the text variable. Okay, after that I'm creating builder object. What is the string builder? To store the group of characters, it is immutable, it is not synchronized. String is available, string buffer available, builder available. Performance wise, which is better? Builder is better. For thread safety, buffer is better. For immutable, string is better. Now here, I want to generate random character. Each character I want to take, I want to add. That means I want to modify the value. To modify the value, buffer or builder? Both. If I want to modify the value, I can use either buffer or builder. But which one is recommended? Wrong answer. Depends on situation. I'm not asking about this, general. Right? So which one is better? Buffer is better or builder is better? Depends on the situation. If you want to thread safety, buffer. If you don't want to thread safety, builder. Right. I have created the object for builder. Next, F6. Password length. How many characters you want? I have given the length as 6. Now I'm executing my for loop. So integer I is equal to 1. I'm starting index at the 1. I less than or equal to length. That means 6 times my loop is going to execute. Now go inside that F6. First time I'm entering into the loop. Random dot next int of text dot length. It is going to calculate length of the text. So if the length of the text is 26 plus 10, 36 is the length. From the 36, it will give some random value. From 0 to 36, it will give some random number for me. That number I will use as an index to get the value from the string. Confused? Okay. So text is available. What is the meaning of text dot length? Length of the string. Random dot next int. When I give random dot next int, so what 36 is the length now? Assume that length of the string is 36. Random dot next int of 36. That means from 0 to 36, give me any one number. You understand my point? So the length is 36. Next int of 36. Upper bound is 36. Lower bound is 0. From 0 to 36, you give me any value. Any one value from 0 to 36. That is my random. Okay, for example, when I call random dot next int, what is the index I got? 5. So why only 5? Random. Random. What is the max random value I will get in this scenario? 36 only. Why the max value will be 36 only? Because I have given the length, I have given the limit for that. I've given the limit for that. So now I got the index as 5. Text dot caret of 5. What will happen? So text dot caret of 5. It is going to give me the 5th index value. That 5th index value I am adding to string builder. One character I got it. Okay. So now here sb dot append text dot caret of 5. Select this. Control Shift I. So now what is that value? F. So now this piece of code I can execute directly in the runtime. So here earlier when we complete the program, then only we'll get the output. My program execution not completed. I'm in the middle of the program execution. I want to understand what is the index. What index I got? 5. Who is giving that index 5? Random dot next int method. What is the upper bound for the next int method? 36 I have given as a length. 0 to 36, you give me any one number. That number I will use as an index to get the value from my string. Getting my point? You give me some random number. That random number I will use as an index for the caret method. What is the purpose of caret method? What is the purpose of caret method? Caret method is used to get the value from the string based on the given index. Who is giving that index for me? Random dot next int method. 1 minute. I'm getting throat pain, guys. Today I have done lot of rehearsals because tomorrow I'm going to my BTech college alumni. I need to give you a speech there. So I have done a lot of rehearsals today. Rehearsals in the home today. That's why that because I thought. Almost 13 years completed. Yes, right. So here my loop is executing. I came inside the loop one time. I came inside the loop one time. So index value I got. Index value I got as a 5. So caret of 5. What is the meaning of caret of 5? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. F is the character that I am getting from the string. SB dot append. What is the meaning of SB dot append? It will append to the builder. Okay. One character appended. SB added F character. Now again what happening? Loop is executing. Again loop is executing. Second iteration. How many times loop will execute? 6 times. Now see F6. What is the index I got? Index I got as a 6 now. So now here SB dot append text dot caret of 6. What it will get now? G it is going to get now. So G is added. FG is added. Next. Third iteration. Index. What I got now? 3. So can we guess what value we will get? It is a random. Who will decide that? Random dot next int method. So 6 times my loop is going to execute. Next time see what value I got. Again I got the 5. Now F6. Now see the index. I got the 22. I got the 22. 22 index value I am going to get. Right. I got it. SB. See that is the random OTP that I have generated by using Java. So in the interview, they may ask this question. Can you write a Java program which will generate a OTP? Randomly, you have to generate the OTP. So what characters you want to include in the OTP? First, you need to decide them. Okay. So I want only uppercase alphabets. Any number from 0 to 9, I can accept it. So I have decided that a text. So fine, I got the random text. Can you print that random text? Random text is printed. Then after return SB dot toString. I want to go for next line. I want to go for next line. F6. Then next line. F6. F6 completed. Program execution completed. So now you got some clarity how this program is executing. Yes, the beauty of debugging. So we are able to execute the code line by line. We are able to understand for each loop iteration what index we are getting from the random. That index we are using as an index to get the value from the string. Okay, that index what we are getting, that index we are passing to caret method. What is the purpose of caret method? To get the value from the string based on to get the value based on the given index. Fine, guys. Can we debug this once again? Yep, right. Debug as Java application. What happened when I use run as Java application? What happened? Complete program executed within fraction of milliseconds. Is that important? No. What is important? Understanding how that code is executing, that is important. So now right click, run as, debug as Java application. Yes. Bookstore. I want to go for next line. Next line. Some method already we have seen. So F6, 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 right? Now generate random password. I want to see that method again. F5. Okay. Next. F6. Next. F6. Next. How many times this loop will execute now? 6 times this loop is going to execute. See the index value what I got? 22 I got the index value. F6. Now see that SB. Previous value, this value same? No, it is a random text it is generated. Okay, I have executed this method, guys, but somehow I did not understand that execution. For example, you are executing a method, execution almost completed. We are in the last line of the program, almost last but one line. Assume that we are at the last line of the method. We are at the last line of the method, but still I have some doubt on this method. I did not understand that method correctly. Can we ask JVM to execute in the backward direction? Can we execute the program in the backward direction? Is it possible? No, but we can restart the method again without stopping the program. Understand? Here, I started the debugging of this method. I started from here. I came line by line, but somehow I missed that logic. I'm not able to understand how that logic is executing. Okay, instead of stopping the program, again start the debugging from the beginning. Instead of doing that, there is an option called drop to frame. What is the option? Drop to frame. When our methods are under execution, we can restart the method execution again by using drop to frame option. See here in the Eclipse, debug option is available. First, you can see method execution order, guys. This is called method, Java stack. Java stack. So what is the Java stack here? First, which method is called? Main method is called. Main method called generate random password method. Now, here I did not understand how this method is executed. I did not understand how that method is executed. For that, you can use one option. Right click on the method call, then go for drop to frame. When I use a drop to frame, what happened? Again, it came to first line of the method. So am I stopping the program and starting again? No, my program in the middle only. I executed that method. I came to till last line, but I did not understand this logic. I want to execute that code once again to see how the program is getting executed. Yeah, tell me. F6, 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 index. What index we are getting now? No, one line you can't go. Drop to frame will go back to the first line of the method. You random, yes, you can go inside that method. Yeah, predefined methods. Yes, you can do that. Now, F6 again. This time, what is the index I'm getting? 1. Index 1 is coming now. Again, F6. What is the index? 3. Like this. Some random number it is going to give us. Now, F6, 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 F6. Yep. SB. What is the string it generated now? Some random value it has generated. Okay. But still I did not understand. Can I restart the method again? Why no? Yeah. Can I restart the method? Yes. Right click on the method. Then go for drop to frame. What is the purpose of drop to frame? What is the purpose of drop to frame? That method is getting restart its execution. Again, we can execute the method from the first line. Yes, F6, F6, fine. I understood. I don't want to debug again. I want to terminate my program directly. Then F8. When I press F8, execution got completed. So are you able to understand? F5, F6, F7, F8. What is the purpose of drop to frame? Drop to frame. Drop to frame. Okay. It is used to restart method execution without stopping the program. It is used to restart the method execution without stopping the program. And one more thing is, guys, see here. Let me do that debug once again. Debug as a Java application. Program debugging started. Yes, now I don't want to execute this. Directly I want to jump to the next breakpoint. How can I jump to the next breakpoint directly? F7 or F8? What is the purpose of F7? F7 is to come back to the caller method. What is the purpose of F8? To jump to next breakpoint. F8. F8. So here, line number 9, there is a breakpoint. Line number 15, there is a breakpoint. Then from this 15th line number, I want to jump to next breakpoint. What is the shortcut? F8. Now I want to postmortem on this method. How I can go inside that method? F5. Okay. I have executed some lines. Fine. I don't want to execute this method. I don't want to debug line by line. Can I go back to caller? How can I go back to color? F7. What is the purpose of F7? To come back to color method. Yes, F6. Guys, here if you observe, password length I have given as a 6. This is my variable. In the runtime, can we change the value of the variable? Without stopping the program, I want to modify value of the variable. If I give length is equal to 7, how my program will behave, I want to test it. Okay, value I have fixed as a 6. But when I am running the program, I got the idea, if I keep 7, how it will behave. If I keep 10, how it will behave, I want to understand. So that facility is also available when you go for debugging. So here debug section available. There is an option called drop to frame. Here variables palette is available, guys. There is a concept called variables palette. So whenever your program is executing, what variables are created, those variables will be displayed in the variable palette. Now, what is the value available for password length? 6. I will double click on this value. I will keep it as 8. Okay. So here variable I declared and initialized with the 6. But now what is the value available in the variable? 8. How 8 came into picture? How 8 came into picture? We have modified the value. So, sir, when we will modify the variable values for testing purpose, how our code is working? If I give the length is equal to 8, how our code will behave? If I give length is equal to 10, instead of editing the variable and restarting the debugging, I can simply modify the value of the variable and I can test it. Length I have given as 3. So password length is what? 3 now. How many times loop will execute? Only 3 times. Actual value 6, but in the runtime I change it to 3. So can we modify values of the variables in the runtime? Yes. Now see here, loop first time it executed, index value 1 I got. Second iteration, index value 21 I got. Now third iteration, index I got as a 7. Loop completed. Why only completed for 3 times? Yes, this password length variable value I have modified in the runtime. The string, just 3 characters are available, right? So what is the drop to frame and how can we modify the values of the variables? Are you able to understand? Yes. What is the purpose of drop to frame? It is used to restart my method execution without stopping the program. And remember, we can modify variable values in runtime using variables palette. Variables palette is available. So whenever you run the program, then variables palette will be activated. Debug the program, variables palette will be activated. Which variables are created inside this method execution? All the variables will be displayed in the stack now. So those variable values also we can modify for our testing purpose. That is a temporary modification. When you run the program, you can modify, you can test it. Once your program is stopped, that variable is gone. Original value will be available in that variable. Got it? Yeah, fine. Any questions as of now? 1 minute. Online people able to understand? Drop to frame. What is the meaning of drop to frame? It is used to restart the method execution without stopping the program. So what is variable palette? What is the purpose of variable palette? What is the purpose of variable palette? Variable palette is used to modify values in the runtime. And here, guys, if you see, my program is executing and breakpoints are available. So whenever I want to debug this, every time I need to use the keywords now, F5, F6 and all, but I understood all the lines of code. My code is working as expected. I want to disable the breakpoints. I don't want to remove them. If I remove, again I need to keep it, right? I want to maintain the breakpoints there only, but I want to disable, like I want to off them. Tomorrow when I want, I will on them. If I double click again, what will happen? Completely the breakpoint is removed. I don't want to remove. I want to keep it there, but I want to off them. Okay, whenever I want, I can on them. So that switch is available here. Observe. In the Eclipse, there is a switch to off and on the breakpoints. Yeah. Can you see this switch? Yeah, that is the switch which is used to stop the breakpoints or start the breakpoints. Now, if currently that is activated, currently that button is activated. What is the meaning of that button is activated? What is the meaning of the button is activated? Breakpoints will work. Now, when I click this, I pressed that switch. So when I pressed that switch, can you see what happened to my breakpoint? Breakpoint is off. So now, even if you debug the program, program will not wait at the breakpoint. Why program will not wait at the breakpoint? Breakpoints are disabled. I removed or just disabled? Just disabled. What is the difference between removing and disabling? Removing means completely it will be removed. Disable means a temporary stop. So now I disabled all the breakpoints. I disabled all my breakpoints. Now right click, debug as Java application. What happened? It is executed like a run mode. Why it is executed like a run mode? All the breakpoints are disabled. So tomorrow again I want to debug the program. Just I will go and on the switch. When I on the switch again, my breakpoint is enabled. And here you can see some more shortcuts also. This is a switch for breakpoints, and this down arrow, up arrow is available, right? These are shortcuts for F5, F6, F7. If you don't want to use F5, F6, F7 from the keyboard, in the Eclipse only these shortcuts are available. Step into, step over, step return. So F5, F6, F7, those buttons you can press. Now see, those buttons will enable when I run this debug. Debug as Java application. I'm running this in the debug mode. Okay. Now can you see the buttons are enabled? Can you see the buttons are enabled? Yes. Step into. What is the meaning of step into? F5. So this button is equal to F5 keyword. What is this? F6. Okay, that is equal to F. Now this is shift plus F5. So this is step return. It is for F7. So it is drop to frame. So whatever the options we are using, for them there is a shortcut also available in the IDE. Good. Yeah, directly I want to go for next breakpoint F8. Like this I can use F8. Now let me go to one of the web application, guys. I'm going for one web application. Yeah. Web application means it will run inside a server. Okay. Yeah. So this is my web application. Don't try to understand the code. Our intention is not to understand the code. Our intention to understand how to debug the code. That's it. Here there is a method. This method is used to generate the data in the Excel sheet. In my database table, there is some data. When this method is executed, whenever I send a request for this method will generate the data in the Excel sheet. How to generate the Excel file by using Java program? For that, we have implemented some logic. Okay. Now, this method is mapped to a get request. Line number 48 is the first line of the method. Double click on the line number 48. Breakpoint is created. But what is the state of the breakpoint? Disable. Let me enable. Okay, fine. Let me run this project. How I need to run this project now? Run as the debug as Spring Boot application. That project is developed by Spring Boot. Yeah, it will take some time to start. Any project, whether it is a normal project or Java project, Maven, Spring Boot, Gradle, any Java project you can debug with this technique. No, debug as Java application. Okay. Yes, fine, guys. So my application got started. Yeah. Currently, I'm disabling the breakpoint. Let me go to browser. Localhost colon 8080. This is web application. In servlets, we will understand how to develop these web applications. 8080/Excel. I'm sending a request for that method. When I send a request, what happened? One Excel file is downloaded. So here, if you click on this Excel, whatever the data is available in the database table, that data we retrieved from the database and we prepared that Excel report for that data. Now see, Excel report is generated for that. Now I want to understand how that code is working internally. Okay? Yes. So can we do that by using 1 or 2 lines? Generating Excel? No. Yeah. See, at the line number 48, there is a breakpoint. Enable the breakpoint. Let me send the request once again. I'm sending the request once again. When I'm sending the request, you see my IDE is blinking. Why? Because the program stopped there only, because there is a breakpoint. Last time when I send the request directly, that code is executed, I got the response. But now program is waiting at the line number 48. Why it is waiting at the line number 48? Because there is a breakpoint. I want to go for next line. Come on. F6. Okay, one string variable available. F6, one string variable available. One method I am calling, that is a predefined method. This is my method, export Excel. That method is exporting the data into Excel file. I want to see how that method is executing. Can we see that method implementation? Yes, how to see that method now? I want to go inside that method. What is the shortcut to go inside the method? F5. Yes. Okay, these are some predefined classes, guys. Forget about them. So here there is a logic available. This logic is going to generate the Excel file for us. Okay? Yes, can we debug this code? F6. F6. These all are predefined methods now. Okay? F6, 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 F6. Here there is a database call. There is a database call. That database call is retrieving all the records from the table. Okay, so now here you can see how many records we have retrieved from the database table. Almost 39 records are coming from the database table. How many times this loop is going to execute now? How many times this loop is going to execute now? 39 times that loop is going to execute, because I retrieved 39 records from the table. I don't want to execute that loop line by line. Can I jump directly to the next breakpoint? I kept a next breakpoint at the line number 104. Currently my pointer is available at the 88. I want to go for the next line directly. How can I go for the next line directly? By using F8. Yes, I came to 104 line number. So tomorrow, if somebody told you that in the Excel file, the duplicate data is coming. Okay, you joined in the project, they assigned a bug for you. Excel data having some duplicate records. You need to fix that bug. Can you go and directly edit the code? Can you do that? No. What we need to do? First we need to debug existing functionality. That is called troubleshooting. We need to troubleshoot the problem first. So manager told that we are generating the Excel report in the project, but in that Excel report, duplicate records are coming. We should not get the duplicate data in the report. Please check and fix that bug. That is the task assigned for you. Then immediately don't go and modify the code. First, see the existing functionality, how that code is working. Now here, what I will do is, first I will check that I will execute the code line by line. Okay, Excel file is generating as expected. For this Excel file, now I need to act like a detective. In the Excel file, we are getting the duplicate data. From where the data is coming? From the list. From the list, the data is coming to the Excel. How the data coming to the list? From the database. Then I will go to the database. I will check what data available in the table. In the table, duplicate records are available. So is it a coding problem? Is it a data problem? How can we understand that? With the debugging, I understood that. Is there any problem in the debugging? Is there any problem in the code? There is no problem in the code. Whatever the data coming from the database, same data we are writing to the Excel file. In the database itself, there is a duplicate record. In the database itself, it is a duplicate record. So here, that code need to be modified, or data should be corrected in the database. Data should be corrected in the database. That analysis you need to tell to your manager. Boss, morning you have given me a task to identify duplicate record issue. I have done the analysis. There is nothing wrong from the coding standpoint. Code is working as expected. I identified that in the database table duplicate record is available. Now we need to understand why duplicate record came to the database. How duplicate record came to the database? We need to fix the problem there. Which method is inserting the record into the database? That method is having a problem, not the Excel report problem. Actually, what manager thought? There is a problem in the Excel report. The problem is not in the Excel report. The problem in the another method, which is inserting the data to the database table. That method issue we have to fix. That is the analysis. I started analysis from the Excel report. I identified that the problem in the database. But the real question, how that record came into the database? End user will not insert the record in the database, right? End user will use the application. So in the application, there is some method which inserted the record into database. Who developed that method? Find that guy. Find that guy who developed that method. Boss, come here. What is this code? Why you have written code like this? Because if your code data is inserted duplicated in the database, because of this duplicate data, customer scolded our manager. Manager scolded me. I will beat you. So when there is a pressure from the client, client will not scold the developer. Client will scold company manager. Our company manager will scold project manager. Project manager will scold senior member in the project. Senior member will scold freshers in the project. Who developed that code? Hierarchy. Whatever the pressure is given by the client, that pressure will slowly come down to the juniors. Right? Yeah, that we can do it. We can filter out the data, whatever we can. Just I'm telling you a scenario. You got the point, guys? How to debug the program? Yeah. Any questions, anyone? Yeah. Any questions? No questions? Yeah, tell me. After first iteration, then you will get an exception, concurrent modification exception. Yeah. So with this technique, from today onwards, whatever the programs you are writing, the program you need to debug and you need to understand how that code is working. Tomorrow, once you join in the company, every day you need to debug the program and you need to understand. And believe me, without debugging, no developer will write the code in the project. Every developer will write the code. They will test the code by using debugging technique only. They will execute the code line by line. They will understand how the code is executing, where is the problem in the code, and how to fix that problem. Okay? So, are you comfortable with debugging? Any questions this side? No? This side? Online people? Troubleshooting once again. Troubleshooting means understanding where is the problem. Yeah. What is the driver? What is the stub? Sir, that is a web services concept, not related to today's session. Is there any error in code? How to find it by using debugging? So whenever you are debugging, suppose there is an error at this line, program will fail. Why it is failing at this line? We will go inside this method. In which line it is failing, that we are going to test it. Okay. So once you start debugging of the program line by line, you will see in which line it is failing. So you will stop the debugger before that line and you will understand why it is failing. So once you start the debugging, you can understand where it is failing and how to fix that problem. Yeah. What is debugging, guys? The process of executing the code line by line is called as debugging. We can understand program execution flow with the help of debugging. We can find bugs in the code also. We can test behavior of our code, and we can provide bug-free code. What is the meaning of a bug-free code? What is the meaning of bug-free code? Quality. Quality. There are no errors in the code. Testers cannot find the bugs in our code. So always, as a developer, after writing the code, we need to test it. We need to identify the problem. We need to fix the problem and to provide quality code for the testing team. Right. So in order to do the debugging of our Java programs, we will use breakpoints. We need to keep a breakpoint. So where to keep the breakpoint? From where? From which line you want to start the debugging? At that line, you need to keep the breakpoint. Then run the program in the debug mode. So you know that, right click, debug as Java application. Earlier, what we have done? Run as Java application. From today, we need to act like a real developer. Debug as Java application. Once you start the debugging, program will stop at the debug breakpoint. From there, you need to control the program with your fingers. F5, F6, F7, F8. F5, go inside the method. F6, go to next line. F7, come back to the caller method. F8, go to next breakpoint. So what is the drop to frame? I am executing one method. I reached the middle of the method, but I did not understand how it executed. I want to re-execute the same method again. Then we can go for drop to frame. Now, so when the program is executing, variables will be stored in the stack. Can we modify the values of the variables? Yes, we can modify the values of the variables. So this debugging is applicable for only standalone, or we can debug web applications also. We can debug both standalone and web applications also. So if I use a notepad, can I do this debugging? So with using notepad or notepad++, this debugging is not possible. If you want to debug the program, only you should go for IDE. So can we disable all the breakpoints at a time? Yes, there is a switch available. You can disable or you can enable all the breakpoints whenever you want. Got it? Yep, fine. Good, guys. I'm done from my side. Any questions you can ask? Very good question, guys. Someone is asking. We can test the program by debugging. Then why we need to write the JUnit test cases? So why we need to write the JUnit test cases? Debugging we will use only when the project is in the development mode. We are writing the program now. We debugged our program. We tested that everything is working. Fine. There are 2000 lines of code available. I have tested each and every line of code. 1 month completed. After 1 month, we have done some change in the program. Again, can we debug all the 2000 lines? Is it easy? No. That's why JUnit will be used in the future. JUnit will test our code. JUnit is a unit testing framework. That is one tool. So in the project, every week, every month, our code will change. Whenever the code is changed, can we debug all the 1 lakh lines of the code? Time waste. That's why to automate testing of our code, we are going to use JUnit. JUnit is a unit testing framework for Java. Got? Sir, show IDE shortcuts during the development. For IDE shortcuts, already I have uploaded one video, right? So people are asking that. I will share that video, guys. Can you share LinkedIn profile of your LinkedIn profile? I don't have it. JUnit will come by default. Correct. Correct. We will discuss that in the coming classes, how to use JUnit and all. Okay? Yes, fine, guys. So with this, we are done with our debugging. Some people are asking debugging video. Guys, 4 years back, I uploaded video on the debugging in the YouTube. Anybody want, you can go through that. Go to our channel. In the channel, you can see Ashok IT debugging. Here, Java debugging concept is available. 4 years back, I have uploaded that video. Someone is asking Eclipse shortcuts. That video is also available. Eclipse shortcuts. Yes. So Eclipse shortcut, top 20 Eclipse shortcut video also I have already uploaded. People who are asking this question, so please go through our YouTube channel. I will give the link. You can find these videos there. Okay. And guys, today one beautiful video I'm going to upload. Interview, 1 hour interview happened. So that video I'm going to upload today. Please go through that. It's mix of core Java interview questions and Spring Boot SQL queries are there. Tools questions, project questions, all the questions I have asked. I have edited that video yesterday. I will upload that. Yeah, final cut video is there. Yes. Yeah, today at 7 o'clock I will release this video. Correct, guys. So like this, I asked her the questions. So she answered very well. So please go through this video so that you will understand. So she is our current project batch student working in the US. So I have taken the interview for her. So you can go through that video. Some questions you will understand from core Java. Okay. So, and remaining questions are SQL, and from advanced Java, I did not ask a single question also. JDBC servlets, I have not asked anything. I asked Spring Boot, REST API, tools, project related, and all that stuff. Yeah, I will upload this video. Okay, good. Yes, you can. In the interview, guys, when you attend the interview, the programs, whatever they will ask now, you no need to write the exact program. You just need to write a skeleton of that. Yeah, logic, core logic you need to write. You can see that in the video. I asked her to write the programs. She has done that. Yep. Fine, guys. Good. Thank you. With this, I'm stopping for today. What is ChatGPT? Already video uploaded. Huh? Republic Day. Yeah, it's a holiday for tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, interview video also will be uploaded to YouTube today, guys. So yeah, in our YouTube channel, I will upload that today. By 7 o'clock, I will upload it. If you subscribe, you will get the notification. Fine. Good. Thank you, guys. So online people, thank you. Bye-bye. Happy Republic Day. We'll meet you day after tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you.